For at least 3 decades, a group of Metro police officers committed crimes while wearing the badge. Today, federal wiretaps revealed just how untouchable some of those police officers thought they were, talking casually about lying on the job, taking bribes, and targeting victims for their DWI corruption scheme. KRQE investigative reporter Gabrielle Burkhart shows you what those wiretaps reveal about the culture inside the DWI unit and asks current leadership how public trust can be rebuilt.
Hundreds of pages unsealed in federal court show us how casually officers talked on the phone about their crimes. Crimes the public would likely never know about if not for citizens speaking up and for the right people to finally listen. You can do almost whatever you want in this unit, bro, but don't broadcast it. Don't tell the whole world. Former Albuquerque police officer Honorio Alba says to fellow officer Joshua Montano in a December 2023 phone call.
You would think that you were listening to other people, just regular criminals like other investigations that you would be doing. And now we had to almost kind of pause and say, wait a minute, I'm actually listening to police officer.
Raul Buhanda, former special agent in charge of Albuquerque's FBI field office, was head of the office at the time the FBI was listening in on the phone calls of certain Albuquerque police officers, piecing together what we now know was a decades-long corruption scheme involving officers funneling their DWI arrests to local defense attorney Thomas Clear III's office, helping each other lie about missing court or not filing charges at all. An extortion scheme to line their own pockets and purposefully botch criminal cases.
And it's like, really? Is this where we're at? I mean, it was so disappointing.
Intercepted conversations capture a candid and close relationship at least 4 officers within the DWI unit had with Ricardo Rick Mendez, then a paralegal for that attorney's office. Conversations showing just how easy it was for certain police officers to wear the badge and ignore the oath they took to earn that badge. Biggest takeaway from this investigation?
Biggest takeaway is I wish it would have started sooner.
Sooner, because in 2025, the FBI would get a confession from Clear that he operated this scheme since at least 1995.
I wish that we would have been able to kind of convince the system that this was something that was actually happening. Not because we were saying it as investigators working for an agency, the FBI back then, but because it was what was happening.
Months before their homes were raided by the FBI, Alba and Montano mention a supervisor at work reminding officers that new arrests had to be booked into custody rather than issuing a court summons. Seems standard, but for Montano and Alba, issuing a summons instead of booking someone into jail made it easier for the officers to simply not follow through with a case. Well, that sucks, dude, because now it destroys the whole system, Montano told Alba. In another exchange, Alba's on the phone with fellow officer Harvey Johnson, complaining that a judge is asking for proof of the doctor appointment Alba claimed he had to take his dad to, his excuse for missing another court date in a DWI case that already saw delays. They're bugging for doctor's excuses, bro, Alba says. Johnson tells him to just take the day off. Later, the FBI is listening when Alba tells a prosecutor he was too sick to take his dad to the appointment. TMI, but I just threw up all over myself. We're going to blame McDonald's. I shouldn't have ate that hot and spicy.
You always talk about what does it sound like in context. It's even more nonchalant. It's just like whatever, right? Like this was their job.
So how much were they all pocketing? Search warrants show the FBI was looking for evidence of high-dollar purchases in their homes. Mendez and Alba allude to how much they've raked in over the years, even consider tracking it themselves to prove their value to Clear, as the two speculate whether Clear might fire Mendez. When I went to him, guess how much he was charging for a DWI? Mendez asks Alba, referring to Clear. Like 2,000 to 3,000, Alba guesses. 1,300, Mendez replies. That's crazy, Alba replies. The two go on about easily getting $8,500 from their latest target, a woman they're convinced has money. As for Clear himself, he has made so much money over the years, Alba tells Mendez. I tell you what, a lot of attorneys struggled during COVID, bro. Oh yeah, we had a blast, Mendez replies.
How is it that we're going to start to make people feel like they can trust law enforcement, and specifically APD? But I think the steps that were done even before I even got here.
Once the investigator of corruption within APD, Buhanda is now working with the department as the city's executive director of public safety. You look at your hiring as a step in regaining public trust.
Yes, because it's really easy to kind of just pick someone from within, and then there's always going to be that level of doubt.
Buhanda knows regaining public trust isn't easy.
I can tell you from my perspective, you can trust us, but let us earn it. Let us earn that trust.
Today, 10 former law enforcement officers have pled guilty to federal crimes, 2 defense attorneys and Mendez, the former paralegal. Does this send a different message to law enforcement officers across the state?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think the answer is I hope that it sends a good message, right? That they are signing up for the thing they thought they were signing up for, to do good in this world.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
Also mentioned in the search warrants, Mendez suggesting to officers that Tom Clear's wife could potentially take over his role of communicating with officers in this scheme. So far, we have not seen evidence of that actually happening. To date, no one charged in this corruption scheme is in prison. 7 of those 13 who've pleaded guilty in federal court so far have sentencing dates that are scheduled for later this year.